on your left, and you're already good to go.
Yep, it's recording.
All right. So, welcome to technically your first space. Aw, there's another one. Damn it, Ivan. Don't worry, I'm going to wake you up a little bit.
Yeah.
So, welcome to a parking lot. Congratulations, you made it. So, there's a lot of cars in here. We will not be going in between vehicles. It still leaves us plenty of space to be able to investigate the space after we discuss the history. So, where the heck are we? We are at the Pinckney Mansion site. This is where Eliza and Charles Pinckney used to live. Their mansion sat in the front of this space facing East Bay Street. Eliza's garden was lined up with Five Church Restaurant and came all the way across, and we are standing in the servant and slave quarters for the home. All of you folks with basically communication devices, we'll call them, with spirit boxes and the Ouija board and all that stuff, I am not going to be giving you questions like what color was George Washington's white horse, like what we did over there with the Big Red Barn. You're going to get the answers from your devices. So those of you with earbuds, please feel free to share those earbuds with a partner. That's why most people only use one, to have somebody else help them. So who the heck were Eliza and Charles Pinckney? They had a son named Charles. They had a nephew named Charles. That's 3 different Charleses. That's why we look for secondary clues, everyone, so that way we know which Chuck we're actually chatting with. Now, the son and the nephew, they were signers of the Constitution for South Carolina. I hate politics, and we're going to move on. If I don't bring that up, they usually do that for me very angrily, just so you know. And I will just put this disclaimer out there too. I change everything up every November, December, and kind of explore new spaces. This is a space that I've been coming to for the past 3 years. I was looking to retire it because we were getting very unwelcoming messages here. So we're going to be very respectful. This is a prominent English woman that we're going to be discussing. So be very respectful while we're here. There's a lot of us. You might not give us a whole lot, but hopefully a little tidbits here and there. So we're going to talk about Eliza. Eliza married Charles at a young age, according to today's standards, not the colonial times that she came from. If you're going to ask her how old she was, you will not hear numbers like 12 and 14. Just so you know, think of today's standards. The reason I bring this up is because her husband, Charles, was over double her age. Kind of a creepy age gap back then, in the 1700s, creepy age gap now. So, she married him because her father was over in England, where she's from, and he thought he was dying. He's trying to bring all of his kids home one last time. Eliza didn't believe he was dying, so she stayed put and got married. It's 1744. You don't get married in that year for a green card. We're not even a country yet. So, she did marry him out of love, and don't ask about any kind of, I guess, what's the word I'm looking for? Any foul play. Like, there was no affairs. So, again, she was madly in love with him and remained a widow even after he died for a long period of time. Now, she was correct. Her father didn't die right away. Instead, he starts sending her gifts from England to this space where we're standing. One of those gifts happened to be the plant seeds of indigo. You guys have been in town for at least a day that I know of. You've seen the word indigo somewhere. Indigo is a plant that makes blue dye that makes our blue jeans blue. Some of you are wearing it right now. So that's how they used to, to make your blue jeans blue. When she got the seeds, she didn't know what to do with them. She had to learn from her slaves how to keep them cultivated. It's obviously not warm here all the time because we're all freezing to death. So when she figured it out and experimented with it here in her garden, she moved it to another plantation and got a hold of her father and said, our rice plantations are going downhill. We're going to make a killing with this indigo. And we now have an international businesswoman during colonial times. This is something absolutely unheard of. Not many tours actually talk about this woman. You normally have to go to a very prominent house here in town to hear the name Eliza Pinckney. So, let's go through the weird stuff, because that's the boring business stuff of Eliza. Do you have something on your word list?
Just says maybe.
Very vague. We're going to go through kind of a series of questions with each type of spirit box or communication device and make sure there's at least one in every group. So, Joe, with yours, the questions you're going to focus on are Eliza's death. How old she was, what did she die from, where she's buried, and which president was a pallbearer at her funeral. So those are the 4 main questions that we commonly get answers to. With yours, initials, we'll see what happens.
Who was the president?
I'm not telling you any of these answers. Yep, they're going to come through on your spirit box.
She just
Word
got
list.
picked.
What does it say?
Picked.
Pinckney.
Yeah, Pinckney.
What's funny is we would see the word pinky on here. Pinky finger.
Really?
We've seen that here plenty of times. With your spirit box, again, it's going to be completely random, but one of the things I like to focus on with that one specifically, Eliza that we just talked about is the second wife named Eliza from Charles, back to back. So either really smart or really stupid, depending on what kind of guy you are. Ironically, they both have a maiden name that starts with the letter L. Figure out which one we're dealing with. Next spirit box. Dominique. You're going to go after the children. Here's the thing about the kids. tread lightly. This is where we don't want to poke the bear. There's a tragedy among the children. Don't ask too many questions. How many? What are their names? Pretty much really, really simple stuff. So again, just keep it to those 2 questions and see what kind of answers we get out of it. With yours, the mansion's not here anymore. What happened to it and when did that happen? Obviously, we're looking for a very, very specific date. So because your spirit box kind of gives us like 1 to 2 syllable things, Lily, I'm giving you the same question.
Okay.
So what happened to the mansion? When did it happen?
Okay.
So kind of keep those, with your devices work very differently than everybody else's because they try to take out the white noise. All right, so we're going to spread out. I'm going to keep Ivan behind so I can show him how to use that motion sensor. Again, stay away from the vehicles. If people are going to their car, just go the other way. Again, it just happens. We're going to stay within this lot right here, just so you guys know. But let's spread out. Ivan, stick with me, and I'll be bouncing around with everybody. Let's see what we can capture.
Okay.
Can I ask you a question?
Sure. Please tell me what colors you saw.
Wait on a second. Is that down? Yeah, that's right. Let's go over here and try. It was what happened to the mansion and when. And you were looking for a very specific date.
I got January so far.
January?
I've got June. I don't even know. Well, you're asking 2 questions. These are maiden names.
Haven't seen anything interesting yet.
No.
Still
Are
panorama.
they answering what your maiden name is? Just says church. Did you go to church and change your name? What was it before you went to church?
Anything interesting, Savannah? Have you gotten anything? No, not really.
What happened to your mansion?
No, that's just a light.
Isn't this song fun? I'm impossible.
You're supposed to ask the when and not the why. Oh.
It was like super.
Like you said, if it gets to where
What year?
What? Oh, that's that. Never mind.
Alright, what have you heard?
I just got 59, like maybe a minute ago.
I'm chilly.
Hey, Nick.
What? Spirit.
Anything else coming?
Whoa.
Sound like water related.
Oh, it's going crazy right
Any
now.
numbers?
Yeah, 53.5 was the last one I had. 70.3.
Whoa.
Before that, I had a 2.7. And I just had a 3.6.
Wait. Ivan. Oh, action.
33.9.
I see something weird near that other guy behind it.
15.6.
Do you see it?
30.7.
There was something like behind that guy that's like sparkly.
No. You're recording, so I'll capture it in the morning.
Oh.
All right. Somebody coming to their vehicle. Let's kind of move over this way. All right. Let's kind of move this way.
What happened? And the thing's all the way up. I can't hear anything.
Kind of have to take some of the clues that's going on with the devices. Kind of like move things around and stuff.
I have to leave it in one ear. That's okay.
Very interesting. I want to see what's going on with Tiffany's word list before I kind of explain what's going on around here. Hey Tiffany, can I take a look at your word list?
Yeah.
See what she got.
Goodies on
Yeah,
there.
we're gonna find out because I think we're getting clues to our next space already.
Yeah.
I had the headphones so loud I didn't have to do this.
Very interesting. So here's where I'm taking some of the clues. So we have a couple of answers that actually popped up, some really good, EMF readings going on. But once I start getting the word mute and no that show up, that's where I'm kind of like, it's not a negative thing, but it's almost like we're annoying Eliza. Not to mention we actually have a couple of clues that showed up that match up to our next space. Let me explain. Savannah heard the number 59, and then we have the word church on Tiffany's word list. That is the exact address of where our next ghost actually lived, 59 Church Street. So again, it's very
cool.
interesting. And sometimes I have to take the cues and kind of roll with it. That's what I love about this. Is we have to piece it together. So let's go over the answers here before we actually leave the space. So those of you with cameras, if you want to give your hands a break, go ahead and shut them down. They just hit the pause detectors. They're measuring electricity in the air. Up to 1.1 is natural from the Earth, but I always like to give you an explanation of how they actually work. So if you were to set that device behind your television set, it would go between 20 to 40 milligauss. Now, yours only goes to 25, so it would actually spike out. So it kind of gives you an idea. We did have, what was that? You had 53 over there at the Tiffiny Mansion site?
Yep.
So you had enough electricity running through a space with no electricity running through it that is as much as your TV.
Yeah.
Again, that's kind of crazy.
So I would BTUs going through there.
Right. Now, if you were to put Ivan's device next to your microwave that was running on high, it would read about 140 to 160. So that's kind of the base of what I normally see. Now, the highest I've ever seen Ivan's device go is at that Pinckney Mansion site that we just left. It was 214 milligauss. That was this past summer. So we left. I have epilepsy, guys. That's too much electricity in the air for a neurological disorder. We left quickly. I told them the answer is here, just so you guys know. And that was as soon as we got started. So I was like, I just felt bad, so I threw in an extra location. But anyway, back to where we are. We're in Philadelphia Alley. It used to be called Jewelers Alley. This is where some of the duels used to occur for the city of Charleston.
I heard.
So we're going to let this group pass through. He's going to probably
Jewelers Alley.
He just heard something.
What'd you get?
I heard
No,
dogs say great profit.
Great profit.
profit.
Interesting.
Well, what is that?
It's going to be a large group.
No.
I got, what did you get? And then somebody said it around here.
Yeah, the guy down there.
It's almost like, it's like popping after what they say.
Force has come up twice now.
Force?
Mm-hmm.
Usually when something shows up twice, I have to, it's almost like screaming at me. Like, hey, pay attention. So definitely be looking at the words around it and what else was heard here. So here's how the story goes here. Every ghost story that comes down here tells the same story. However, you're going to get different details from me because you're ghost hunting. You're looking for specific keywords and things that actually happen here. There was a doctor that moved down here from Rhode Island. So Marissa, there's your first RI of Rhode Island. He moves down here because he's supposed to get married to his fiancée, Amanda. Amanda just inherited a bunch of money from her dead parents. She has an attorney helping her out with all of this cash. The attorney thinks that the doctor is just after Amanda's money. The doctor's full name, by the way, is Dr. Joseph Brown Schlad. So if you hear brown-eyed girl down here, it's not coincidence. It happens all the time. So, yeah, you're looking at me like, okay,
I heard
I
thugs too.
I keep getting
Thugs
E.
and great profit.
E?
No, E. Like the letter E.
Letter
I got it twice already.
You have
I got it 3 times on here.
Dang.
In a row.
Yeah, I got E, and then I got like music, and then I got E again.
There's no key names down here.
I got it again on here just now.
really?
Yeah,
So that's 4 E's.
I had to clear it out.
Maybe there's going to be a K at the end of it. Eek!
Safely.
And I don't know what's going on either, but you know how you said 2.5? It's been at 2.5 until just now I started talking to you. But before I started talking to you, it was at 3.0 and it stayed like steadily.
You have the word hold on your screen anywhere to the left?
Me?
Yeah.
Hold?
Yeah,
Yep, right.
No, I meant on your screen.
No,
I want to make
no,
sure you didn't accidentally
yeah,
hit
on the
something.
screen, no. No.
So, back to the doctor. He moves down here to Charleston to prove that he's not after Amanda's money. So, the coachman that brought him into town set him up to be robbed and killed. It wasn't a good start to his stay in Charleston. Somebody was walking by. His name was Ralph Isaacs. There's your second RI. Again, those are 2 different characters. We need a secondary clue to know who it belongs to when it does show up. So, Ralph tells the doctor, you don't want to stay here, dude. I know this guy. He's going to try to kill you. But I got some friends at 59 Church Street where you can stay and rent a room.
I got letter T. Like it said letter T. Like
A bunch of E's. I don't
no,
know.
it said T. Like as in
Yeah, but
Thailand.
she has a bunch of E's and you heard E's earlier. So I'm
Yeah.
trying to piece it together.
And so it actually said like letter T, not just T.
Right,
It said
it said
letter
the full
T.
Letter T. I'll write it down. Just remind me.
And on our walk over here, I got CS. Maybe for Church Street.
Oh.
Kind of a stretch, but yeah. Like I would look for anything a little bit more specific to a person. Church Street is good.
See anything? Yeah,
No.
point it down there.
I've seen
So,
nothing.
where was I on the story? Oh, so the doctor took him up on the offer, and the 2 become friends. So the longer the doctor stays down here, the more money he's making, profit. So his practice starts to take off. Amanda gets wind of this, and she is moving down here, so that way she can actually marry her fiancé. He's proving his point. The doctor became known as the Whistling Doctor. Every haunted city you're ever going to visit in the future is going to have a cliched whistling ghost. I guarantee it. But the weird thing is, and I don't normally put my thoughts and feelings into this, I thought I heard a whistle after we left the Pinckney Mansion site.
Yeah.
Savannah thought she heard it as well. So you're going to have to check your audio. I'm definitely going to check it. I normally don't, but it is something weird after getting 59 in church over there. I'm going to definitely look to see if it was just very quick. It was, like, very fast.
And not saying that it goes together either, but when you said that, it went to 3.0 and then it went back down as soon as you mentioned. Interesting.
You got an eye.
Oh.
Go for that R. So, let's finish up with our doctor. Dr. Ladd and Ralph go see plays together. They can't sit next to each other. Why? The doctor makes more money. He gets better seats. That's just the way the hierarchy works here in Charleston. Plays back then, 1700s. So, they talk about these plays on the way home. They went to go see Richard III one night from Shakespeare. They start arguing over the new actress that was here in town. The doctor thought she was great. However, Ralph didn't think so. They start arguing, and then Ralph starts insulting the doctor's fiancée, Amanda, back home in Rhode Island. He gets very ugly, and they go their separate ways. I told you Ralph has friends here. He goes to the newspaper, puts an ad in the paper telling the whole city of Charleston what he thinks of the doctor. Kind of a, you're a disgrace to society, sir. Dr. Ladd sees the newspaper ad, rebuttals with, let's go to Jeweler's Alley. We're going to settle this once and for all. They came down, they took their 10 paces, they turned, the doctor pointed his gun in the air, and he shot. His one shot. He did not want to kill his friend. He just wanted to have the courage and bravery to show up to the fight, which is often what happened at a duel, by the way. But Ralph has his one bullet. He puts it in the kneecap on the doctor. Dr. Ladd drops to the ground, didn't die, but Ralph proved his point that he's still pissed off. Dr. Ladd's friends picked him up, carried him home, 59 Church Street, where he dies 10 days later. He refused medical treatment. Why? He's a doctor. He probably tried to bleed out the lead poisoning himself. This was 1786. We didn't have the same bullets back then. So, the death date is always the same, but how many days after the duel, it changes depending on which version of the story you're reading. But the death date is November 2nd. So, the weird thing is we normally get the doctor's birthday down here, which I'm not going to tell you what it is, because we're going to get some bleed over at the next location from this space, which is why I tell the story while we're in here, because even when we're discussing the next story, we're going to get stuff from this story. Again, it's really close. So, ghost tours that come through here, like that one and the one that passed through us, always tell you to listen for whistles as you're walking through this alley. Besides the air conditioner running, this alley is always super quiet. Even in the middle of a Saturday afternoon, it is always super quiet. Keep in mind, if you're going to do this on your own, because I cannot take you all the way through here, I'm going to explain why. I've actually been kicked out of here. That's the fun part of the story. So, if you're going to try it on your own, turn on your voice recorders on your phone and listen to it later. Listen to the voice recorder here. See what you can get in the background. Keep in mind, every local knows this story. Anybody walking up and down Cumberland or Queen Street is going to throw a whistle down the alley. I do it every single night. My garage is right above that little convenience store, so I have to pass the alley every night. So again, I always throw a whistle. When my daughter's on the tour, we race to see who's going to throw the whistle first. So, here's how I got booted out of here. Let me make sure none of the neighbors are out and about. Perfect. So, this alley is considered residential at the end. We're not allowed down there on a tour. So, I used to take people all the way down there because this alley didn't always go all the way through this way. It was cut off about halfway between us and Cumberland Street. That's because this is where they kept the livestock for the city of Charleston. So, those bricks on that side are older than the bricks over here. Those bricks on the far end are sun-dried bricks from slave children. And you guys figured out by now I'm all about history. I'd always point it out, regardless of the diversity of the tour, because we all need to see how far we've come from slavery. However, the weird thing about those bricks is there's a full handprint from a slave child in one of those bricks. And everybody wants to try to get a reading at it. I treat that thing just like I do a grave. That kid's not staring at the brick in the afterlife. So, one night, November 26th of 2020, yes, a very specific date, my entire group of 10 is huddled around that brick trying to get a reading. I'm trying to shoo them along because of that reason, and the fact that it's outside the kitchen window of the beautiful mansion at the end of the alley. The new neighbor came out screaming. My daughter thought it was great because Dad's getting yelled at. The next day was Thanksgiving. I don't tour on Thanksgiving because I worked for Walmart for a very long time in upper management. You can all feel my pain at this point. Now, the next day was November 28th of 2020. I got a phone call asking me to go down halfway or to reroute my group. I decided it wasn't fair for my groups of 10 to spread out and try to work around 20 to 60 other people down here, so I was going to reroute my group. What I told my group is I didn't really believe in the next story because I didn't have any evidence from it. You know, I've investigated it several times and never really had anything. We were going to be investigating pirates, and that's all I told them. Before we left, somebody heard the name Anne on a spirit box. I did not tell that group that we were going to be investigating the famous female pirate, Anne Bonny.
Oh.
Yeah. When we got down there, I told the little bit I did know about piracy, and somebody else heard the number 300. I didn't know what that meant in real time because I didn't do a ton of research. I didn't have a lot of time. However, the next day when I'm going through their data, researching, turns out we were there November 28th of 2020, and Bonny's trial for piracy, November 28th of 1720. We were there on the exact 300th anniversary of her pirate trial. So I had to read more books about trying to piece together a factual investigation story so that you guys had something to work with. But it is based on pirate lore. Again, everything we're about to discuss at the next location came from a minimum of 2 resources to kind of verify the information. So again, I actually have a master's degree in creative writing. You all should be thankful for that because it took a lot to piece this together for a real investigation. The next space, we will be able to spread out a little bit further. But remember, we're going to get bleed over from this location. So after that will be a new location that I've only been going to since November. I don't know everything about that space, but we're going to spread out, and it is a good, creepy story to end our perfect investigation. So,
What happened to the guy that shot the doctor in the knee?
he actually died, I want to say like 12 or 14 years later. He ended up moving to Virginia.
Ralph.
So, Ralph Isaacs. Yep.
Right before you said pirate, I got a P on here.
Interesting. Seems like we're almost getting predictions. How's our word list coming? You got anything going on with that?
I got theory. I got infection.
That's good.
France, Doc, and Fear.
Same.
Pirate.
Yeah. All right, let's go learn crazy stuff about pirates.
It
Anybody
could
else
also
hear
be
anything?
like Doctor.
That's true.
Okay, well,
This building is what I call a familiar. This building was being constructed at the exact same time that Anne Bonny came to Charleston. So this is, if you guys watch the TV shows and YouTube, whatever, paranormal stuff, you've probably seen them use like the teddy bear to attract the child ghost. This is the same principle. This is a building she would actually recognize. So again, this is a hit or miss location. You're going to have a lot going on or nothing going on. That's how this space works. It's very weird. So this building took 10 years to build. Does it sound like our government? 10 years? Small building? No, not at all. From 1703 to 1713. Oh, by the way, those earthquake bolts are the very first ones that Charleston put in because that's the oldest government building in South Carolina, finished in 1713. So our story begins actually in 1708. So
I'm getting
it actually held gunpowder.
something.
Different wars in one rebellion.
something?
Yeah, do you see right there in the bottom corner?
She got it.
I'm not sure if
Try
that's
not to get
called.
out by the camera, Louie. You got it. Perfect.
Do you see that?
Oh yeah, it's moving.
It does actually.
Hey Nick,
Yes.
he's getting something that's moving on his screen. I don't know if it's definitely not a shadow, but I was next to him and you can see the bottom of his
Right in the bottom right corner.
Okay.
Do you see it?
Well, move your camera so where it's centered on that.
Yeah, I think it's glare actually.
Yeah, it looks like glare.
glare?
Yeah, it's definitely glare.
If it moves with the camera, it's definitely glare.
Okay.
So,
I was gonna
you
say,
guys gotta follow me on
Yeah,
this
that
one.
was
There's
kinda
a lot
creepy,
of
though.
twists. You guys ready?
Yeah.
Alright, 1708. Young lady moves here from Ireland. Her name is Anne Cormack. She comes here with her father and his mistress. The mistress is Anne's mother. Are you guys with me so far?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's gonna get weird and twisted. So, the three of them are running away from her father's angry wife. How pissed was she that she got to leave Ireland to come here in 1718? Anyway, they land in Georgetown, which is between us and Myrtle Beach. So that's dad bought a plantation, mom died pretty quickly, and that means he has to send young Anne down here to sell anything from the plantation to help keep things afloat. Hence the familiar building. So let's take a step backwards. Anne back home in Ireland was said to be a badass. Now, when they say so when she was about 7, 8, 9 years old, again, pirate lore, we don't have an exact number. They say she killed a servant with a knife to the belly. Have the term servant, knife, and belly all in the same evening from different spirit boxes, all in the same night. So, fast forward. Building's done in 1713. By 1715, pirates are coming through town. Anne is stoked. Why? She's gonna fall in love, so that way she can earn her freedom, just like a man. It's a man's world at this point. First guy she falls in love with. Yes, I said first because there's a handful. We're gonna go through them. First guy is James Bond. Now, you already see where this one's going. Dad didn't approve. Filthy pirates. They ran away to Jamaica. They got married. Anne Cormack is now Anne Bonny, the famous female pirate.
I got far away.
However, James Bonny is not the Captain Jack Sparrow that she was hoping for. This guy turns out to be a privateer. He's a spy for the British. Basically riding his own people out. This is not who she wanted. He's a coward. So a few years later, she falls in love again. John Rackham. Two of you heard the name John. But John went by the name Calico Jack. This is the guy that they based your Johnny Depp character off of, just so you all know. So this is the guy she wants. He has his own crew. Anne wants to be part of it. You can't put a female on a pirate crew. Does anybody know why? It's a family-friendly toy.
They all want it.
It's bad luck. So, bad superstition, right? And I do like the word club. I'm going to explain that one to you privately because it's actually relevant to us facing the Bible. What's that? People looking at those? It's an apartment building. Oh, I understand. Yep, let's keep coming on. So, wait. Oh, and becomes part of the crew because Jack makes a deal with her. Jack says if you dress like a guy and hide your gender, you can be part of the crew, but you're going to be a female in my quarters. So, yeah, well, it is what it is. So, let's put 2 and 2 together. Anne is a female in his quarters. She's eventually going to get pregnant. You cannot have a pregnant pirate dude on the crew. Somebody's going to be she's a female, and then you're going to put Jack off the ship as captain. So he drops her off in Cuba. Go have the baby over here. He's a friend of mine. Come back later and we'll figure it out. Rosie has the baby in Cuba, but returns with no baby. We have no idea what happens to the child. All the research I've done, can't find it. However, she comes back dressed as a female. This makes Jack angry because now the whole crew's going to know that he let a girl on the ship. He also captured another pirate crew while she was gone, giving birth to his child. They're down below deck. Anne's going to go flirting, because that's what Anne does. We're on guy number 3, in case you all lost track. Guy number 3 turns out to be a female, because that's what the guy is part of the pirate crew the Calico Jack captured. Now we have 2 females, dressed like males, and her name is Mary Reed. She went by Mark Reed to become a pirate. Her and Mary become friends, possibly lovers. We're not going to really know for sure. It's too far away. But with that being said, the British find out where they're at. They send a whole fleet of ships to take down one pirate ship. Anne and Mary, rumor has it, are the only 2 pirates not drunk enough to come up and fight with 1 bullet flintlocks. It takes a long time to load those suckers. And you probably didn't know how to use the cannon jet, by the way, because they weren't pirates long enough. Obviously, 2 ladies with flintlocks are not going to take on a fleet of ships with cannons. So they get arrested. As they're being arrested, Anne looks at her beau, the captain. She says, "Jack, sorry to see you here, but you should have fought like a man instead of being hanged like a dog." The word dog shows up a lot over here, just so you guys know. Now, the judge, he wants to see the 2 quote-unquote men that fought back so valiantly on their own. He's already hung and, tried and hung Calico Jack and the drunk pirates that wouldn't fight, so they're dead and gone. Anne and Mary go in front, they reveal their gender, he doesn't give a shit that they're female. They're still pirates, he's still gonna hang them. "We plead our bellies," was the last thing they screamed out, because you cannot hang a pregnant woman in 1720. It's illegal. So he sends them both back to jail and delays the hanging until after the pregnancy. Dad is still up here in South Carolina with all of his Irish money. He bails Anne out, brings her back home. She remarries. That's husband number 2, but guy number 4. We're gonna count Mary. We don't really know. However, she has 4 kids, dies at the age of 80. That's all we know. Now, I know, very abrupt ending. Mary Reed died a year later in that Jamaican jail from whatever pirates died from in a Jamaican jail. Use your imagination, make it romantic for yourselves. It was probably scurvy. Most books and articles will tell you that it was probably fever or something very silly. I'm going to call it out and say it was nasty.
Spanish influenza.
There we go. We'll do that one. So, a couple of questions. I'm not going to give you a whole splurge of questions like what we did at the Pinckney Mansion. I left out 2 major clues. The name of Anne Bonny's parents. That's the father and his mistress. You can ask about that. These are just questions for you guys to get started. This is not a prominent English woman. You don't have to tiptoe around this woman. The other thing I left out.
Mary Reed, maybe?
What do you got?
M.R.
She's got 2 names.
What do you got?
Julian and Lisa.
No. The other thing I left out is the name of Calico Jack's ship. So again, I left those things out specifically. This is a fair game. Ask whatever you want to. So Ivan, you are going to use your motion sensor.
Okay.
Numbers and the colors on yours, probably you won't get much unless you're close to the corners. The electrical poles will make your devices go off. You're going to be asking Anne Bonny to show you her hair color. Reason why? It's red. This is the only space I've ever gotten a direct red. That means she has to touch your antenna to show you the color. So again, if you get numbers on the back half, I'll be excited. Same thing with your colors. On the back half only. On that half, I'm like, kind of sketchy based on the electrical poles and the parking meters on the other side. So you might want to help, her listen in, so that way, she has somebody to help her out. Definitely get that spirit box unmuted. Nice slow movements. One of the best orbs I've ever caught here, Tyler, with that camera, has been in this location near that wall over there. It was bigger than my...
This wall?
Oh, over there.
Over there, baby.
Oh.
So, we're going to spread out. We're going to see what's going on here. I'll do a couple of round robins. Again, other tours are going to be passing through here. Just stay out of their way. Stay away from vehicles. Let's have some fun. Let's do this one. Pub, we're going to explain that one to you. So, pub, on the other side of the cemetery is what we call the pirate house. It was at the time.
Why are you doing that, man?
That's Sheeran. He's got red hair.
Go tell him.
Ivan, if you're close to the...
Go tell
You said if you're close to those light things, it doesn't count.
Yeah, I know, baby.
Then why are you going close to them?
I'm not that close to them.
What's that? Oh, that's the hay thing. I was wondering what this white streak was, but it was this thing.
Hey, Ann, what color is your hair? Oh, and it's going to walk this way.
No, not only for but that is true. It'll play Shape of You by Ed Sheeran. Maybe that's a cool story.
No.
What are the names of whose parents?
The girl that they were talking about with all the people she was dating. 12. Joseph?
Joseph and Mason.
I got a Jan.
A Jan. Ooh, on and on and on.
I'm seeing
I just got
anything.
Ed Sheeran again.
That has to mean something, doesn't it? But Ed Sheeran's also popular. No.
I know, I told him to get away from there.
Why is he being there? Hmm? Whoa.
Somebody had LA.
MA's like Mary.
Joseph, Mason,
Go see if any of those names are relevant at all.
What were your parents' names, Anne? Did they die?
Oh, that's the light.
Smile, babe.
I am.
Oh, you moved.
Oh, I didn't know.
Hold on. Come here. Stay!
Why does it do that?
Because it doesn't have the flash on.
Oh, I don't like that.
Why? It took 2 seconds of your time. See, and now you're blurry again.
Well, yeah, my first instinct to move is to
come
move
back.
after a photo.
Don't move until it says to stop. Smile. Oh, that time it didn't tell you.
What do you got? Monterey?
No, lingerie.
Lingerie?
Like clothes. You need to turn that feature off. That's what makes it blurry. Whatever feature you add on.
I don't know that I have a feature on.
Yeah, you do. I forgot what it's called.
Oh my.
Tell them about Ed Sheeran. This red hair.
It's kind of a stretch.
I like it.
It's a big stretch.
Sometimes you gotta stretch it.
Haven't found anything interesting so far.
Again, with the cameras, it's not always a real-time thing. You just gotta have them running.
Yeah.
They're cool to watch, especially the thermal. Like the
I
thermal
think
one,
I'm
I
really
love using.
tired, so that's
Yeah.
probably why I'm missing everything.
All right, let's pull everybody over to the wall. Let's get over this way. You got any crazy going on?
He's having deep meditation.
Yeah, I just practice your deep meditation.
That's what I thought. I was like, deep meditation practicing?
It's just fun, yeah. Like you can send us something.
Literally nothing.
Huh?
Started off at, and the minute we got into the space, the young man next to me literally went white as a ghost and started to drop. It was September. It was perfect temperature, 65. It was overdressed and everything, but I had to pick him up by his armpit to stop him from hitting his head on the ground and, causing damage. His boyfriend picked him up from the other side of him, and we took him over to the wall where we ended so he could sit down. I got him a bottle of water, he was feeling better, and then I told him the story that I told you about Ann Bonny. It's important to know that they didn't know the story yet. That used to be my last stop. So as they spread out, go have fun with your devices. Them two pull me aside and say, Nick, we have to tell you, we are two transgender males. Meaning I had two females dressed as males on my tour, just like Anne and Mary from the story. And it made complete sense to us as to why one of them got passed out as soon as we entered the space. So, this is the reason why I give those warnings. Psychics and mediums normally don't make it past the Tiffiny mansions. I don't know how many times we've had to call the paramedics, and it's always there. And it's usually from somebody, as they're on a gurney, says, I forgot to tell you I'm a psychic. It happens all the time. I would say at least 2 to 3 times a year that I've been doing this. That's what I see. So to me, that's all the time. Again, I don't want anybody getting hurt. So, let's get into why we're here. I know it's kind of a crazy story, but I forgot to tell you. I can't believe I didn't, rush to get here because you guys have been so good. So when I first started coming here, I didn't know what to find. Look around. There's tons of monuments to other people, and no idea what the hell was going to happen. What actually did occur, I came here with a very small group, 2 or 3 people, and everything that we talked about was relative to this man right here. This is Henry Timrod. It's like the word Nimrod with a T. So kind of keep that in mind. We got the name Henry and the name Tim. We also had the exact year of his birth, which was 1820, I can't remember the exact number. Again, I haven't been coming here for too long. So I was like, all right, I know I've heard something about Henry Timrod before. Let me look things up and see what actually occurs. Now we keep getting more and more. So, who the heck is Henry Timrod? Quick story on him. He was sick through most of his life. Born in the 1820s, he was obviously old enough to fight in the Civil War. He was born in Charleston, which means he's going to fight for the Confederacy. When he gets to the battlefield, he's too sick to fight, and his comrades realize this. He was also a poet and a writer, and they knew this as well. They basically told him to go home and be a voice of the war. So he was actually dubbed the laureate of the Confederacy because he was writing poetry about what was going on the battlefield and in the hearts and minds of the Charlestonians around him. So he had a son shortly after that. The son dies very early. I'm not going to tell you what that number is or how old he was. I'm also not going to tell you his birthday or his name. But just know that it was very tragic for Henry. About a year or 2 after that, a friend of his calls him up. He was a college friend and said, you know what, you've been going through a rough time, you've been sick, your son passed away. Why don't you come out to my cottage in Columbia, which is in the middle of the state. You can come out here and finish working on the pieces that you're writing for your publication. So he goes out there and he's writing. And that's where he writes his last words. His last words, ironic with the bells ringing, he writes, beholder of brief mortality, which means person of short life. And then he coughs. And it lands on the page in a blood stain. He had tuberculosis. Yeah, pretty nasty stuff. However, that blood stain looks like a man writing at his desk. So kind of a creepy thought. They show this book one day a year at the Charleston Library Society on Halloween only. You have to be a member of the society to go and see it. I am going to show you what the page looks like because you all need to see it. What I'm also going to do is I'm going to read a very short stanza from his poem called Charleston. This is a writer, which means he's normally like an introvert, so he's going to be very shy and timid. It's going to take us a few minutes to get him to react to us. I will also, oh, by the way, the name of this page is called The Blood Book.
I got 13.
13.
I'm also getting something like right on the second story window. It's like staying there when I move. You see it?
I think there's like a light
Well,
up
again,
there
with
for the
that
flag.
small window, or that small camera, I like to look them at. I don't have my glasses on to be able to view it. That's why I have you guys.
It's on the second story there. I don't see any
well, you're
light up
marking it
there.
right now for me. This
I
is
see
the
a light
blood
up there, I think. So maybe it's a reflection.
Oh, yeah. Beholder of brief mortality as his last line.
I don't
Kind of
know.
ironic that he
I
wrote
see
person
that.
of short life, and then he dies right on the page.
Maybe we will
It's
rock.
like
So here's the blood book.
oh.
Oh, cute. Oh!
I told you, it looks like a man writing over
Yeah.
It does. That's weird.
So, here's what I'm going to do about that stanza.
It's
That
right
stanza,
there.
I'm going to read, I'm going to see where this group's going to go, because I like to stir things up. So that's the whole point of me reading it. I don't know what is going on with this very large tour group. Thank you for not being them.
For sure. We're having too much fun. They're all dressed up.
We know not in the temple of the fates, God has inscribed her doom. Notice that he puts God as a female, by the way. And all untroubled in her faith, she waits. The triumph or the tomb. This was written in 1862, right in the middle of the Civil War. It's basically saying that Charleston's fate is going to rely on the fate of the war. This is during the Battle of Charleston.
You see?
So we normally get the words triumph or tomb that will show up here. So again, that does occur from time to time.
You get any of those words?
And again, I've been coming here for super long. But
Triumph
we're going to
or
see what
tomb?
happens. Questions you can ask, obviously. The name of his wife, the name of his son, the son's birthday, Anything relative to the blood book, you know, the word blood and book have shown up here in the past. I've also tell you that the EMF will spike in certain spaces over 100. So those spaces are normally in a grassy knoll somewhere, so you're going to have to explore to see where it is tonight. Again, it moves every single night, and some nights we don't get it at all. So again, you're going to have to walk around with your EMF detectors to see what's going on. So Marissa, that actually goes for you too.
Was his son born in August?
No.
Oh, we have an A on there.
How about Daniel?
Nope. The son's name is very specific. So it's not like a William or George or anything else from the 1800s. It's very specific. So, and we've gotten it here in the past. So let's spread out. Let's see what we can find. I'm going to be bouncing around like I normally do, and then we'll see what we capture and wrap this party up.
I don't need the motion, right?
The motion is, let's wait until you find the high readings first and see if we can get both at the same time.
Was it Todd?
Ivan, you want to see the ghost door, Bryce?
Yeah.
Like right up on the second story. I don't.
The bright spot?
Yeah, right there. I don't see any light up there. Do you?
I do, yeah. But not on the second window?
Yeah, second
No,
story.
I actually don't, baby.
Yeah, there's like a glowing coming from there.
There is a light inside, though.
There's no way.
But it's way high and it's dark enough from here.
Yeah, it's like glowing.
Yeah.
That window, like top, that fourth window from the left side,
I agree.
is
You're
glowing bright purple.
You're right. That's not bright enough to light that up. So yeah, that's definitely something.
That's also a very specific holiday. So I'm just going to like put out that clue.
I went up there. I went up closer to that window, and the fourth window from the left on the second story is glowing like bright purple compared to the other ones. And there's like a teeny tiny light, but I don't think it would like. I think it would.
So there are probably one or two people still working in there this week. But I don't know that
Like you see that fourth window?
Yeah.
Like it's. You see how it's glowing like.
I do.
I'm not sure if that's like a sign or not.
I don't know. But it is glowing steadily. So that means that there's probably something else going on there. I'll look at it on the big screen.
Yeah.
I look at them on a large computer screen.
Yeah, no, fine.
You're recording the whole time, right?
Yep, I've been recording this time. Here.
That other device get too hard to listen to?
Oh no.
Oh, darn it. It's freezing out here.
Yeah.
I have hand warmers that I keep playing with.
Oh.
That's why they're.
Well, and then I have my sleeper.
Um,
Is there a little one?
Oh, there's one.
Yeah, and they magnet together.
Oh, very cool.
So they're not like super like, oh my god, like the hot hand package
Yeah.
you get, but they work.
But are they rechargeable?
Well, they're rechargeable and they act as a charger. So if your device dies, I can throw this on there.
Oh, okay.
So that's why.
That's cool.
could you do me a favor and check like the fourth window to the left on the second story and see if it's like colder than the other spots? Because I'm getting like a bright light when I focus on there. You see? The fourth window from the left on the second story. So aim more up.
Okay, it might pick up the sky as the.
It's unusual.
Oh, it looks
it's
a little bit.
It's a bit colder.
Yeah, it is, isn't it? That is the coldest thing aside from the sky.
Yeah.
That one is the coldest one up there.
And it says like 50.
Yeah, so that
There's like
because there's
quite a
not
bit of
no
a
light.
temp difference.
Because you can tell it doesn't have There's nothing like that.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Let me check with the tour guide. Yeah, the girl with the temperature monitor, that exact window that's like glowing, for mine is like way colder for hers.
Really?
That's a word list coming.
Grandfather, arena, some yield, and Daniel.
Up there, that fourth window to the left I saw that was glowing, she got it was like way colder than the other windows, like at least a 10 temperature difference. That's what she saw. Maybe go closer to that building that has like the glowing window.
You have to stay steady. Is it recording?
Yeah, it's recording.
It almost was like paisley or like bright something. And it said after that was important. And I was talking to Tiffany about how, like, it doesn't sound like anything important. It's kind of scary.
That's a bit odd. Yep, still going. Patty? Yep, room's still going. I asked the girl the heat temperature thing, and it was like 20 degrees colder than all the other windows.
I'm done.
Yeah. That window's definitely haunted, I think. Window up there still glowing. Having a party. Huh? Like, yeah. That's odd.
Trust me, they know.
Ivan.
Whoa.
Whoa.
You gotta touch it more. I need more touchies. More touch.
Holy.
You know that
I just got 125.5.
Bye-bye. I'm leaving you.
You know that window that I saw that was glowing?
Whoa, 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 whoa.
Don't bring it by me.
Alright, hold on, I gotta tell him.
156.
Hey, Nick. I just got 125.6, 149.6, and then it went to 156.6.
That's 360.
Whoa.
It's all 0.6. That's a bit creepy.
Alright, go again. What are the numbers?
Okay, 125.6,
Okay.
149.6, and then I reset it again, and then I stepped forward just one step, and it went to 156.6.
Is the son's name Isaac?
No.
Is it close to that?
No. I'm thinking of Ralph Isaac.
You know that window that I saw that was glowing?
He's been
The girl
that
with the
whole story
temperature
all
thing,
night long.
she looked at it and it
Starting
was
with
like
the
way
pink
different. It was like way colder than all
Yeah,
the other rooms.
use your sleeve and wipe your nose, baby. Okay? My thing was going nuts, babe.
I saw you over there with the light.
It was going ridiculous.
Maybe go by the glowing window, see if you can get
Yeah, that's a good
anything.
idea. I think I might do that. But the particular thing happens right here.
I know, that's
And
what I
that
was
where
thinking.
she was. It was like going crazy. It like literally climbed to like 156.
Damn, that's how they resolve their problem.
Find like a note under the ground or something?
Wait, no, that's a reflection, never mind. Oop, Ivan's getting it. Let me check right there.
Right here?
Yeah, I don't see anything right there.
Yeah, it went away.
I'll keep my eyes on you in case you get something. He got it again near that.
Did it go away,
Uh,
Hey, bestie. Got touched that light. We touched the light once. More blinking. What do we know?
Let's see, cool.
be nice. Remember, you gotta show a little respect.
Wait, Savannah, move.
Oh.
Move! Savannah, I'm trying to see something. I saw something but Savannah's shirt was like the same color as it.
It's going in my body.
Alright, it's starting to calm down.
You're getting haunted.
But you have to go slow. Not fast.
When the kids started to scare him away.
Yeah, vehicle accident.
Really?
There's another ghost.
Too much chatty Cathy over there.
A new ghost. A newer ghost that was able to ride in the vehicle.
Whoa. I didn't even touch it.
No.
Let me see. What normal color?